Hello and welcome to News Round, where we recap stories that made headlines during the week. I'm Olumide Macaulay. The headlines. After 48 hours in detention, Ibom Air's passenger Comfort Emanson regains freedom as police drop charges. Federal Executive Council slams 7-year ban on new tertiary institutions to curb duplication and raise standards. Biomobile's Madhouse by TERA Africa launches entrepreneurial incubator program for lens-based change makers. Plus, Cabo Verde's government declares state of emergency on São Vicente and Santo Antão after deadly floods. That's News Round indeed. Now, News Round begins with this week's trending video of a passenger, Comfort Emanson, who was accused of unruly behavior aboard the Ibom Air flight. After having been charged at the Ikeja Magistrate Court and remanded at the Akure Correctional Center in Ikoyi, Ms. Emanson was released on Wednesday. The magistrate struck out the 5 counts discharged and freed Ms. Emanson following the withdrawal of the charge made against her by the police.
Up until Sunday, August 10, 2025, not much was known about Comfort Emanson, who went viral for alleged unruly behavior and assault aboard an Ibom Air flight traveling from Uyo to Lagos.
She wants to grab a quick page and slap her. She's destroying the aircraft.
A statement from the airline subsequently indicated that the unfortunate incident arose because of the refusal of the passenger to switch off her phone during takeoff, as required by extant international civil aviation regulations. The very next day, Monday, August 11th, she was swiftly docked before a magistrate court on a 5-count charge for assault, unruly and disorderly behavior, as well as willful damage of the airline divider, valued at about $2,500. She was granted bail by the court in the sum of 500,000 naira, with 2 sureties in like sum. But following her inability to meet the bail conditions, she was remanded at the Kirikiri Correctional Center till October 6. Ibom Airline and the Airline Operators of Nigeria, AON, also went ahead to impose a lifetime no-fly ban against her. These measures swiftly triggered a backlash from many Nigerians and groups, including the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and the Nigerian Bar Association. While condemning Ms. Emanson's actions, many also pointed at the double standards exhibited, especially in comparison with that of Fuji musician Kwamwon, who was given a lesser punishment with no charges filed against him.
Wait now, show you strong, why you not wait?
48 hours after her remand, the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, asked Ibom Air and ValueJet, whose officials were involved in the separate incidents with the 2 passengers, to withdraw their complaints against them. In a statement shortly after, the minister said he decided to withdraw charges against Ms. Emanson and Kwamwon after a review of the incidents involving the 2 airlines and appeals from well-meaning Nigerians. Following the withdrawal of the charge in court, Magistrate Olanrewaju Salami struck out the 5 counts, discharged and freed Emanson, while advising her to always exercise wisdom in her future conduct, no matter the level of provocation. Although she didn't speak to reporters after her release, Ms. Emanson later took to her social media handle, where she thanked everyone who supported her during her ordeal. She, however, disclosed that she was still in pains and would need to get medical treatment before releasing her version of the incident. Shola Shoyeli, Channels Television News.
To security matters in the northern region of Nigeria, the recent deadly attack by suspected herdsmen on a community in Bokos local government area of Plateau State that left 2 people dead, with many homes and farmland destroyed, has caught the attention of the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Honorable Nanlon Daniel, who led the delegation to commiserate with the victims, assuring them of government's commitment to ending the recurring violence.
The people of Mushere community of Boko's local government area of Plateau State are still soaked in grief days after armed attackers struck in the dead of the night. 2 residents lost their lives, several homes were razed, and farmlands destroyed.
That 2 days we didn't go anywhere, and even up till now, if we go down there now, they are even bringing cow, because they have even passed that Tuesday that they passed to our territory. That is why they are following with their cow, and they are even down here now.
2 days later, the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly leads a delegation to the community. He urges residents to remain vigilant while assuring them of government efforts to end the spate of attacks.
As a community, I call on the people to come together, to be united in their decisions and actions, and to trust government, that government under the leadership of Barrister Caleb Mutfan, every action is being put in place, and with the support and the collaboration of the community, government is ready and determined to ensure that there is protection of life and properties. And the people should also be self-aware and be security conscious. If you see something, you say something. And once you provide intelligence, be rest assured the government is ready to protect you.
The Plateau Speaker also promises that the government will complete the repair of a collapsed bridge linking several farming communities to enhance transportation of produce to markets, just as members of the community demand improved security.
That checkpoint, in fact, is just a 2 minutes drive to the community where crops and houses were burnt, including church and even a primary health care there. Like the governor of the Plateau State has always said, seriously, we need more security from the police, the agro rangers, the civil defense. Those are people that are serious-minded in protecting the life of people in Plateau State.
With 2 lives lost and farmlands destroyed, residents are optimistic of improved security in order to ensure a safer community.
The Federal Polytechnic Bauchi was shut down this week, with students given just 2 hours to vacate the campus following a protest that began peacefully but quickly turned chaotic. In a statement signed by the registrar, Kasim Musaliu, the miscreants invaded the male students' hostel, stealing personal effects and injuring 2 students. The security breach sparked a demonstration by some students, which soon spilled onto the streets, and they demanded decisive action from the school's management to address the situation.
As early as 5:30 a.m., students of the Federal Polytechnic Bauchi gathered at the school's main entrance to peacefully protest the robbery attack that occurred in the male hostel overnight.
They entered our rooms and took our phones, all the guys, laptop, phones, everything, they took it. They beat us, they injured us, they even stabbed some of us. Some of us fell down from the upstairs to down. They cannot even stand on their feet now. We took them to the clinic, and there's not even medical facilities to take care of them.
The students blocked the main road to express their frustration. Police officers arrive at the scene and attempts to disperse the protesters using tear gas is resisted, leading to a confrontation that lasted for nearly 2 hours.
These securities, they just came without any accessing what is going on. They just start firing tear gas in a peaceful protesters. Why?
The divisional police headquarters is not far away from the federal poly. So we expect that wheresoever there is cases of crime and criminality, they should try as much as possible to report.
Despite multiple rounds of tear gas, the students refused to back down. A combined security team arrives to restore order, and the students were eventually restricted to their campus. The Commissioner of Police later arrived at the scene and is briefed by the school's management.
We cannot control the situations. Hoodlums took over the protest. The peaceful protest, hoodlums took over the protest.
We cannot sleep today. Even our students are not going to. I have told you. We are going to look. No, I'm not intimidated.
We are talking. We are dialoguing. It's a dialogue. I have told you we are going to look into that issue. You understand? We are going to work with the management of the school to resolve this matter peacefully.
Several students were arrested. The students have given the police a condition that they would not stop protesting until some of the students arrested are released. Following several pleas, the students reluctantly backed down. Some of the injured students were evacuated to the ATBU Teaching Hospital, and the school's management announces the immediate closure of the institution and directs all students to vacate the campus. Hajara Aliyu, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council has approved a 7-year freeze on the establishment of new federal tertiary institutions across the country in a bid to address duplication and improve the quality of existing ones. According to the Minister of Education, who briefed journalists after the Federal Executive Council on Wednesday, access to tertiary education is no longer an issue in the country.
Members of the Federal Executive Council getting set for the week's meeting. President Bola Tinubu arrives and the meeting commences. The first item on the agenda is the swearing-in of the chairman and the commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission.
And I will devote myself to the service and well-being of the people of Nigeria. So help me God.
A moment's silence is then observed in honor of late Chief Audu Ogbe, a 3-time member of the Federal Executive Council.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. Amen.
The meeting then transites into a closed session. Almost 2 hours later, some ministers brief correspondents on key resolutions reached. First is a 7-year freeze on the establishment of new federal tertiary institutions across the country.
The shocking data that we're seeing today, we have 199 universities that less than 99 candidates apply to seek to go to those universities. 64 colleges of education had 0 candidates choosing them. So if we want to improve the quality of our tertiary institution and not be a laughing stock across the world, the FEC decision today is the most pragmatic and the best for our educational system.
The minister adds that some of the institutions already established could also be reviewed.
The fact that those acts were signed by the president doesn't mean those tertiary institutions will see the light of the day. The president has already approved giving us the go-ahead to set the guidelines based on this. So, and I'm going to use this public podium to appeal to our politicians, more importantly our legislators. We don't need to open more of this tertiary institution. And today is a good day. The president has put a full stop and full break on this.
The Director General of the Bureau of Public Procurement also presented 6 key points to the Federal Executive Council, which were approved.
The second one is that ministers are requested to forward to the BPP a comprehensive list of projects that have been awarded under their ministries and their parastatals for the 2024-2025 fiscal years for analysis and transmittal to the President's office. Honourable ministers have been directed that a significant number of their projects under the 2025 budget are procured using the open competitive bidding. Of course, details of compliance of this should be forwarded also to the BPP for action.
Council also directed that preference must be given to made-in-Nigeria goods in adherence to the Nigeria First policy. making sure that priority is given to local companies or Nigerian companies and organizations as long as they meet international standard. Government-owned agencies have also been directed to ensure they comply with the Public Procurement Act in adherence to the Finance Act of 2020. From the Presidential Villa, Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
When News Round returns, state of emergency declared in Cabo Verde, Sao Vicente and Santo Anto after deadly floods. Please stay with us. Welcome back. As the water level of the River Benue continues to rise following heavy rainfall, now it appears that communities in the flood-prone areas of Adamawa State remain on edge of another disaster. This comes weeks after a flood that claimed 29 lives in Yola and its environs. Some survivors are now resettling with support from the state and federal government.
In Yola, the Adamawa state capital, flood victims are grappling with the devastation left behind as entire communities were submerged, livelihoods swept away, and families forced to start all over again. Channels Television visited some of the worst hit areas to capture their struggles. The floods did not just destroy homes, they tore through farmlands and businesses, leaving behind a trail of mud, debris, and despair. For many, the loss of property and loved ones is a burden that will take years to heal. 67-year-old James Tumba lost his home in Shagari, Yola South. He describes the night the water swept through as traumatic, but counts himself lucky to still be alive. Others like Moses Amos and Joel Tumba have returned to their homes to begin again. They express gratitude to Governor Umaru Fintiri for immediate relief materials that kept them going in their darkest days.
That water that came to our place, since I was talking, we have never experienced this type of rainfall. My children have climbed a tree. They are under a tree, they sleep under a tree because before they cannot pass this water, when they go, they will quench. Through that water, but through God's help, that is why everybody has been secure.
We thank His Excellency Ahmad Fintiri at the state level also for donating food items for the flood victims.
Relief also came from First Lady Oluremi Tudubu, donor agencies and humanitarian partners. Authorities insist that reports of expired supplies are false, stressing that every item distributed has been verified.
The item supplied to the camp in form of support to the flood victims are in good order. None of them is expired. We cannot risk the health of our victims. We cannot and can never give them any expired product that can bring about health disaster. We are even managing post-flood events now. We are the health in order to avoid the spread of diseases that come along with the flood.
With water levels still rising on the River Benue, residents in flood-prone areas are asked to move to safer ground, just as authorities continue to monitor the situation, hoping to avoid a repeat of this devastating tragedy.
Mentorship is a critical element for any bold initiative to thrive and survive, and that's exactly what members of the Board of Trustees of TERA Africa are promising to provide the team as TERA Africa is officially launched in Abuja. TERA Africa provides a platform for creative minds in the continent to thrive irrespective of age or background. It's a creative hub aimed at unlocking Africa's creative potential.
Ladies and gentlemen, please may have...
Call it a convergence of creative minds and mentors, and you may not be wrong. The founder and board members of TERA Africa, government officials, as well as development partners are here for the official launch of TERA Africa.
Please, we can make the applause louder.
TERA Africa is a flagship project with a vision to transform the continent's creative economy by providing a platform for talents to thrive.
If creatives cannot earn decent living for their practice and their craft, it is a waste of time. To what end? It's time for creativity to scale. It's time for cultural industry in Nigeria to scale. And for us, our agenda is to ensure that the child of nobody can become somebody without knowing anybody. It's time for them to know more, do more, and earn more.
From music to digital content, fashion, arts and crafts, Africa is home to millions of untapped talents. And to these, the board chairman of TERA Africa offers a warm invitation.
To every creative across Africa, hear this. Your time is now. And TERA Africa is your platform. We're here to connect talent to opportunity, to turn ideas into enterprise, and take African creativity from our streets to the global village stage. We will train, advocate, invest, and we will open doors, because creativity isn't just culture, it is capital, and it is the future.
TERA Africa isn't just a project. It's a bold movement to unlocking Africa's creative industry, requiring strong partnership within and outside the continent.
I came here to show you partnership and collaboration and the continuation of it. And I will support you in funding, raising resources and sustaining. The CAN is proud to have an endowment, because for us, we promise ourselves the next 10 years, we are not going to go to the West for money anymore. We need to sustain ourselves to build this creative engine that can transform Africa.
There is a lot more potential in the creative sector in Nigeria than what we get to see right now. And there is a need for someone who can create the link between talent, education, skills development, business development, and moving from local to global.
Understanding. To scale.
The signing of a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Women Affairs is an affirmation of the collaboration with the federal government.
TERA African Women-Led Artisan Initiative embodies what we stand for collectively. Dignity in skilled work, preservation of heritage craft, and unlocking of new markets for our women. Once again, I congratulate TERA Africa and pledge our full partnership to accelerating action for women's economic empowerment, starting now.
This new era demands collaboration, cross-government, private sector, academia, and communities. As a ministry, we commit to scaling access to creative residences, training hubs, and enterprise support, championing artisans and ensuring their work is both culturally celebrated and economically sustainable.
The high point of the event is the official launch of the project.
From Nigeria to Africa and to the rest of the world, it is my honor and pleasure to officially launch TERA Africa.
As TERA Africa births in Abuja, the founder and his team are optimistic that this initiative will mobilize the needed resources to empower African creatives for global competitiveness.
Finally, a news round, Cabo Verde declared a state of emergency on the islands of the São Vicente and Santo Antão after deadly floods killed at least 9 people and forced 1,800 people from their homes. The state of emergency activated crisis funds and urgent infrastructure projects in that area. Monday's flash floods were triggered by Tropical Storm Emen, leading to 193 millimeters of rain in just 5 hours, far above São Vicente's annual average. The Deputy Prime Minister, Akure, describes the flood as catastrophic. That's it on News Round, where we brought you stories that made headlines during the week. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay.